everybody, and welcome to another Tomb Tuesday. It is Tuesday, May 31st, 2022. Let's get right into the announcement right here. So, Harry starts off with, hello, fellow Tomb Raiders, happy Tomb Tuesday. And then he goes into that we're seeing a little bit of relief. A little bit of the downward pressure is slowing down. A little bit of the momentum is easing. All of that impact from the Luna Black Swan event is starting to finally get to the point where traders and investors can assess the situation as a whole and take a look at what they could do. Now, that could potentially be a catalyst for further downside, right? That sort of event like that can sometimes be the reversal and it can sometimes be the turnaround. It looks like here, short-term bear cycle, it's not unusual for the market, especially after reaching new all-time highs, such as the case for Phantom 348 or the case with Bitcoin at $69,000. All right, but he goes on to say that this is the time to build. And this Tomb Tuesday is very much around everything that is beyond Tomb. Everything that is under the Tomb Finance umbrella. But all of these things all come together because they had to be built or supported or helped out at some point in some time. And that's where Tomb comes in. So this little intro over here is all talking about what is happening now. Right? And this is building mode. They go on to say, that being said, building mode takes time. All right. And weekly updates will continue. However, during the next 3 months to summer months, updates will be shorter. All right. So we're going to have some shorter Tomb Tuesdays coming up. No problem. We go into the price targets down here, and then we go into the time frames over here as far as short term, long term, those types of things. All right. But this is the important part. Tomb Finance is more than just Tomb. And he goes on to break down what he considers as Tomb infrastructure and what he considers as Tomb projects or things that fall under the umbrella of Tomb, whether it's support, whether it's building, or whether it's a feature or a function. And there's a lot. We're not going to go over the descriptions of each one. But as far as infrastructure is concerned, Felix, right? That's the central exchange that's open on the Phantom blockchain using the Binance Cloud technology. Tomb Chain, right? That's coming very soon, as we will talk about in just a minute. But Life will be debuting on Tomb Chain. That's the L2 optimistic rollup. That'll be on top of the Phantom L1. Tomb Swap, which is the DEX. That is growing and growing and growing. We'll talk a little bit more about some pools that were added last week, beta, and some more pools that were added 10 minutes ago into the cemetery now. So we're talking about that in just 1 minute. And then Life Swap, so brand new. Life will be our premier DEX on Tomb Chain. We aim to make Life Swap a rich source of deep liquidity on Tomb Chain, and we look to make it as easy to use as Tomb Swap. So this answers a lot of speculative questions as far as what is Life and what is Life going to do. You may not know fully what Life is, the whole puzzle, but you know that there's going to be a Life Swap, right? So Life Swap, so you're looking at the premier DEX on Tomb Chain, housing the liquidity that's going to be on Tomb Chain. So huge deal right here. Then that's the infrastructure, right? But then on the project side, we're working with, supporting, and building projects like, and of course you go into Tomb, right? You know, the keystone of the entire Tomb ecosystem. But then you go into Based. And, you know, we mentioned yesterday that Harry's going to be working closer with the base team for everything that they have going on and everything that they will be innovating in the future. So for future things to come, remember that the emissions for base will end in July. So we're creeping up on June tomorrow, and then a month later you're looking at July. So base will have a very similar situation as Tomb will have on June 12th as far as T-share emissions ending. Life. So specifically for Life Protocol. Life will have many pieces to the overall puzzle and will grow into a far more than just a premier DEX on Tomb Chain. Life will support Tomb in many ways, and we couldn't be more excited to begin rolling out Life very soon. Life will act as a standalone protocol that will offer investors new opportunities on both Phantom and Tomb Chain. So again, little pieces of the puzzle that we're all just starting to put together individually. And as we add all these things together, we'll get a much clearer picture on what the whole ecosystem is doing and how each one is supporting each other. Fanti, right? We've talked about Fanti before. Fanti and the unnamed French Bulldog will have their own, adventures within the community and things of that nature. That storyline is being built. That will be coming out at some point. The Crypt, right? We mentioned that before too. Tornado, Shade Cash, that type of thing. So you can have private transactions on Tomb Chain. It says right here on Tomb Chain. So another DApp you could look forward to on Tomb Chain. Zoo. So he mentioned the acquisition of Zoo. The team has been helping with things like Tomb Chain. They've been busy doing a lot of things. They will also be on Tomb Chain. So they will be one of the first apps on Tomb Chain. Only, we've talked about Only way in the past, January, February, something to that tune. Now he mentions it once again. Only is still very much in the works and excited to share that with everybody when the time is right. When there's more information to share, that information will be shared. It goes on to say right here, real bulls build in bear markets, and we are building. So we take out of this the massive infrastructure, and we take out of this all of the features and all of the support that the team needs to constantly be part of, all of the projects that are being built. And there's a lot going on here, and there's a lot to like. And the thing about it is, if we are fully in a bear market, I mean, we've been going down essentially since November as far as Bitcoin is concerned, which is still the black cloud for the entire market, right? So, you're looking at a minimum right there, like 6 months of downward pressure. So even if we full on bear market by breaking the 28,800 structure, right, we've essentially broken that upward trend. So yes, technically we should absolutely be in a bear market. These cycles could last a few more months from where we are now. They could last, up on another year from where we are now. But the point is, what he's trying to say is we're building. We're not going anywhere. We are very much part of everything that's happening. The Tomb umbrella is far bigger than most people realize, and we are busy. He goes on to say that we have a great team and community, and we are all committed to making Tomb and everything in Tomb Finance ecosystem a long-term success. So just a lot of confidence coming out of this first major section of the Tomb Tuesday. We got a really cool graphic over here, so let's take a look at that. All right, and this is one beautiful way to be able to see everything under the Tomb Finance umbrella all in one shot. So, of course, you have Tomb Finance at the top, infrastructure stuff that we talked about, Felix, Tomb Swap, Tomb Chain, and then Life. So that'll be Life and Life Swap. And then underneath that, individual projects, support mechanisms, different features and things that we were adding, like the Crypt, Fanti, Tomb, Based, Zoo, Life, and Only. So tons of things all fall under the Tomb Finance umbrella. And that really is important for people to understand. Tomb is way, way bigger than just Tomb. All right, let's get back to the announcement. All right, that was the biggest section of the Tomb Tuesday. Outside of that, we have a lot of smaller updates over here. So Tomb Swap is now on actual tomb.com. That's a migration that I believe is still in the works, except it's easier to access right now. So those are just things that when they had to build it on swap.tomb.com, so just a slightly different domain, and that's all getting migrated. So that's happening right now in the background. New pools and new offerings. So we talked about the beta version of Tomb that was available to everybody last week. He goes on to thank everybody for taking a look at that and working with them and sending any feedback that was required. But we're looking at over here, Zoo, Tree, FUSD, and FUSDT were all pools that were added. So these are now live in the cemetery. On top of that, we just got an additional 10 pools. So you can see right here, Zoo and Tree. So then we have our T-share pools over here, T-share USDC, BTC, and WETH. Phantom ecosystem pools. So these two were here before FTM USDC, FUSD USDC. But then we have these right here, FTM DAI, FTM WETH, FTM FUSDT, FTM BTC, FTM MIM, FTM BNB, AVAX, Link, and Curve. All have been added and they're all live right now. The next new one on here is right here, BTC ETH LP. This is also on here as well. And then, of course, you have your My pools, and then you have the RIP pools. So a lot of pools now. I believe there's 24 total pools, and that is a lot. So they did talk about 2 weeks ago, or I believe it was last week, that they were going to be adding more pools and building TombSwap decks out to have more Phantom related and Phantom ecosystem tokens to have a larger array and a bigger range of options for traders and investors to play around with. So they're all there and they're all live right now. So that takes care of this section right here. Then we go on to Tomb is Life and Life is Tomb. So we did just speak about life in the infrastructure and project section. Last week, we expanded a bit on the future of Tomb, and the future of Tomb revolves around Life. Life will open the door to many opportunities for current future investors. Life will be born on Tomb Chain and will complement Tomb in many ways. Life will also introduce L-Share, a key component to the overall Life protocol. And yes, Genesis pools are coming, and Tomb will be a featured pool. So that answers another big question of, are we going to have Genesis pools? Will Tomb be used for those pools? And the answer is right here. Yes, Genesis pools are coming, and Tomb will be a featured pool. Moving on, Tomb Chain almost here. So updates on Tomb Chain. dApps are now building on testnet. Mainnet is still super smooth and everything is working very well on mainnet. So we already know, right? We're talking about the first section of June for Life. So first 2 weeks, we'd be looking at Life coming out. Life on Tomb Chain. We can expect to see Tomb Chain at least by the 12th of June. Today's the 31st, so you're looking at 12 more days at the max, I believe. And then we should be seeing Tomb Chain and we should be seeing Life. So really cool stuff is happening in the next 2 weeks, and that is awesome. A reminder on all of the things that will happen just with the initial launch of Tomb Chain. Lots of good things for Tomb, so all of that stuff is great. One more update on Felix, right? Felix added Spirit-based and Tomb trading pairs. So Spirit USDT, Tomb FTM, and based USDT. Those trading pairs are live. That happened throughout the week, last week. And there are more on the way. I believe 1 or 2 more will be added later this week. A reminder that trading fee discounts using Tomb is still being migrated in the background. Binance is handling all of that. And then when that is ready, when that is available, everybody will know. Of course, we will let everybody know that it's ready to rock and roll, and you can enjoy those discounts on Felix. And last but not least, a huge thank you to all who participated in the beta last week and provided feedback for the new strategies section. We have officially migrated strategies over. It's out of beta. It's on to tomb.com, and you can get that by coming over here, going to the drop-down menu right here where it says More, and clicking on Strategies. Once you're on Strategies, well, once it loads, once you're on Strategies, you'll be able to filter them out in a bunch of different ways. Filter them out by the token, filter them out by popularity or risk, or get on the other filter of whether it's an auto compounder or whether it's a staking and farming or something along those lines. So I apologize that this is not queued up yet, but let me just wait for this to load. All right, and here we are on the strategies, and yes, it is live on tomb.com. And again, you could sort over here by token, so you can see all the different tokens that are on now. So a lot of token options, popularity, risk, difficulty, yield, maintenance, and protocol. And then you can go by farming and staking and auto compounding. I believe we'll add some more of those in the future, and we will add more strategies as they become available. But there's already a ton on here. Very well done, very well put together. You could click on any one of these and you'll be able to see the strategies, steps written out over here, step by step with links on the side, and then a diagram to let you know exactly what it is you are doing. So really cool stuff. A lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of work went into those strategies, and it's great to see that it's out of beta and it's already on Toom.com. That will wrap it up. As always, he ends it with, we continue to build, educate, and work tirelessly to ensure everything we do is in the best interest of our protocol and our community. Thank you for joining us on this journey. And that will wrap it up for this Toom Tuesday. As always, we keep calm. Toom on.